talked enough about the mid lane. Yes, we know Stormy's Farce is scary. Will Aurora play with the fact that they might trade for that? Trade for the Eve, trade for the Zoo shit? Because we know that this trinity of heroes in mid are still what dictate the pace.
Here's my counter argument. If we're not looking towards the mid laners, you gotta look at the supports, because again, Yums was a very big detriment in the first 2 games of their previous match. I don't know whether his performance is going to maintain, considering that Light has been able to bait out battle spells with just his presence.
That he was, I'll admit. Just like Yisun Shin on Sekai's, Cho on Yums needed a little bit of a cooldown. So, if I may, Yums, focus on vision. Early in the series, if you can make sure that your team gets into the groove, your 4 younger brothers find their spots on the map easier, then you can go that route. With what kind of hero? I'd say something like, I was gonna say Cho. You revert back to the easy hero.
Yeah, just go for it. I mean, both of them can play it really well. Okay, Sora taken out, Juicing taken out as well. Will SRG just default into picking up a Kalea Rush here as their first pick, or a Claude maybe if it's going to be open? Considering that they banned out, and look, SRG, I feel like they struggled so much with the roam mid trio of Aurora Turkey yesterday. Look at the bans for SRG. They take away the Eve, as mentioned earlier. They take away the Grok, very disruptive to anyone. And they even respect ban the Fredrin first sight blue.
I like what? And this is what I was wondering, whether their first pick was going to lean back into what we saw the past couple of days of Claude, and how exactly are we going to go around it, whether you have access to Sora or not, both of which have been taken out. So the flex picks are kind of out of the question, leaving SRG only with Leomar. Now, Leo, you're the Leomar believer here. I'm on Aurora's side. I'm thinking, what's the disruption that we need? And I think it's the signature Cho.
That's right. Again, just as important as it is for Yums to get the Cho, it's important for Light to take it. And again, you use the D word, disrupt what this Leomord does. That's the worst thing in my 18-hour study of Leomord. Hands-on, I'm a new convert, folks. I suggest you pick heroes that kind of stop him from just rampaging through the front lines. And this is a good alternative. Instead of the Cho, the Kalea. How about you hug? Wait. Yeah, no, you hug that Leomord even before he gets on that horse, and you take him out.
So, Leomord getting rush picked here. The control of the Kalea. SRG, will they double down on picking up their mid laner? Because I feel like the mid laner trade is going to be getting smaller. The Lunox Farsa are still going to be open, but then after that, you're going to have to go into the niche picks like Lo Yi, if I really think about it. I'm sure Aurora is even thinking about the Lo Yi right now, considering that they have the Claude with them. A pick that, combination that opens up the map well. SRG are leaning hard into the very aggressive lineup. This is SRG showing, with the Frey and the Farsa rounding up the Leomord as well, that they want to take control early.
But just as important, I think Aurora have allowed these 2 picks, more the Freya, because again, you don't just pick Claude blindly, assuming that your opponent won't do this. So that's why I like the Kalea. The Kalea answers both the Leomord and the Freya.
I'm all for it, right? But at the same time, now that we see that the Farsa is already in, this was the expected pick from the side of SRG. With a lot of burst on their side, with a lot of fighting and diving power, I think what Aurora need right now is a frontliner, somebody who can actually peel, somebody who can look for that information rather than sending in your boy Light into some dangerous territory. Yes, I will admit that at least the Battle Mirror image can get things done. This Boxia might do even better.
Okay. So Aurora get one of their most stable picks in MPL Philippines Season 16. They love to play aggressive with this. So it's going to be Aurora matching the aggression of SRG in the hopes that the lead doesn't swing too far to SRG's favor, because that's always the risk of Leomord, Freya, and Farsa together, that Dom and Kite will have space to farm. That's going to be the main focus of Aurora here. But that means they need something else in the mid lane as well to make sure that you have that bridge to go to the mid to the late.
And you need a combo with the Kalea. It's kind of weird, just like, all right, I'm going to Tsunami's, what are we doing with this? Because the Box and the Cloud aren't that.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of heroes that can actually fulfill that role at this stage of the game, now that the major ones have been kind of taken away at this point, right? If we're talking about just like raw bursts, I don't think we're going to go into the Selenas just yet, but there's still a possibility of it, right? Because priority is important. When you have a Boxia, what's the worst thing that you could be doing? sitting in your own jungle and farming. No, you want to be farming in an opponent's jungle. And I think this time, Aurora, now that we've kind of seen a little bit of the mid duo, we've already seen what Domenikai is going to be put on. They might lean into the EXP just a little bit more. Compromise Sakai's, and as well as Cram, this game gets significantly easier to get on top of Stormy.
Got him lined up in my sight.
Okay, SRG still decided to ban out the Kimmy. Yeah, the Kimmy could have been a good bridge for the mid to the late game for the Claude, but I feel like it is going to be lacking that impact that they would need. Because that would mean that the mid trio plays as if Demon Kite front, Light, maybe just try to appeal for the Kimmy while the Kimmy's trying to free hit, which doesn't scream impact to me. That's a little bit slow compared to the Leomord, Freya, and Farsa together. But what I do like is that Aurora, in terms of their mid lane options, they have a deep pool that they are willing to play into. We've seen it. Yue is very dependable, no matter pick that you give to his hands.
Very good bans here, very good bans here for the side of Aurora. They don't want Cram to sandbag the lane, specifically with Blue, who's able to disrupt, and more importantly, just make sure that Baxia can't get in and out of the fights really, really easily, which does leave a lot of dive lane EXP laners, Yuzong, Lapu, still wide out in the open.
Arlott, you can also... what SRG needs now are like heroes that are okay with holding down either their lane or just take it into the face. That's what the Gatot is, that's what the glue is. So Aurora are reading into that. And by taking out the glue very specifically, yes, you still have the Arl and the Lapu Lapu open.
The stars,
but I think they're protecting a possibly soft mid lane.
Yeah, it's got to be Kadita, right? What else kind of fits the bill to work together with the Kalia, something that can maintain that lane, not knowing what Yums is going to play exactly, while still being able to kind of bleed its influence into the side, right? You don't necessarily have to win the lane, you just need to hit level 4.
There was a very American voice that, in my head that sounded like it said savior. What about that?
I don't know how possible a new hero from out of nowhere might come. I hope that voice appreciates when I say Gord is more likely. Because you need a battle mage. You need a hero that is kind of ready to go. But I like this more. This makes more sense. We didn't have to go too far.
Yes, we didn't have to go too far, but the big issue with Lunox is that, again, the Feathered Airstrike completely outranges her. However, there's a lot of snowball capabilities with Rora now, right?
Yeah.
If Yue gets 2 kills within the first, what, let's say 6 minutes. I'll be generous, 6.5 minutes. Holy, this game is going to really close out quick.
And it's a good enough dynamic. You need a hero that can kind of both be there and not be there. That's what the Brilliance gets you. That's what the Darkness dash in and out gets you. So there is some play there between her and the Farsa.
Yeah, and the Kalei and the Lunox together are quite difficult to kill in the center of the map, especially with the minions are there. Both of them just have so much regen together. As expected, the aggression through SRG. They'll pick up the Cho and they pick up the Lapu Lapu. SRG, they are not hiding anything about their lineup. They want to go full aggro. That's why they took away the Lo Yi as well. One of the best picks that could have stopped in terms of crowd control and damage. Edward's pick here needs crowd control. This is what's severely lacking right now from the side of Aurora. Did they just go Alice? No. I don't want to see the Alice Lapu matchup against a lineup that is very full on early to mid.
Gonna get kicked and shoved 6 feet into the ground so quick.
Oh, Glue got taken out as well. Uranus doesn't have enough control. There it is, Arlott.
Huh, wow, this is the most... Okay, you know what? If Aurora are willing to say, hey, Edward, we're not going to be able to give you too many resets. Do the work, sir. Edward nods his head to his coach and says, yes, I will.
Another look at the final 2 lineups. You know what, I have this weird, strange optimism towards the Aurora lineup, despite the stats telling me not to feel that way.
It has better utility. There's a lot more things they can do when they decide to do it, while Aurora is just playing with sheer firepower.
Keep your eyes on Sakai's and Cram, because I think that's where Aurora are going for the attack. If they can surgically remove them from this game, man, expect 13 minutes. That's when it's going to end.
Game number 1 in this best of 5 series. First winner. First entrant into the grand finals of the M7 World Championship. Naisu and Mirko to call the action.
All troops deployed.
Call the action we shall. Here we go. Jumping into the land of Dawn. It's a best of 5 and a ticket to the grand final for one of these teams here. It's me, Naisu, and Mirko to bring you this action. And now, man, I'm going to tell you what. These are lineups that at this point make clear sense. The R-Lot, interesting that was the last pick, but have to agree with the panel on how they kind of went about this and that what the R-Lot will provide, and you can rely on someone that's Mr. Consistent, man.
Yeah, when you have the Baksha in the jungle, when you have a utility jungler, you want to have a little bit more damage, a little bit more carry potential on your XP, and that's exactly what you get when you have Edward on the Arlet, right? Like, even though most Arlets, and I think even Edward here will probably go for just a Fury Hammer into tank, that's enough damage. You deal enough base damage, and it's all about the resets, which Light can get you too, and he's already doing a good job in the mid lane with Yue to pressure Yums and Stormy.
Yeah, the pressure that's going to happen here early on, especially in the mid lane, is going to also come from Light, like we just saw, especially when the Tsunami Slam is available, and they can kind of rotate around that. Again, with this dangerous grass map being a little bit faster, Light's going to just provide some information and get on out of there. This is one of the things, though, that we have seen throughout M7, is that Claude building... Oh, Kai? Okay.
Lead by Innocent there.
Yeah.
Straight into the BMI after. But who got the gold crab? Did you see?
I didn't. I think it was Kai. I could be wrong. I think still... Oh, whoa. Mid lane?
Yeah. All in over the Skies. And he baits the Phantom Steed. Skies wants to go in, but that's going to be the Jikundo landing on 2, but no further initiation. So Aurora Gaming Philippines, they got what they wanted. They wanted to just bait out the Phantom Steed. Now it's going to be Edward. Caught in a bad spot. Ah, too clean with the Vengeance.
Okay. Demon Kite's there too around the corner, so no push through or follow through there. Turtle's going to be up now, though. So plenty of members on both sides here. We'll see some rotating. Whoa, mid lane.
All in there. Valkyrie Descent coming down. Innocent taken out by Yue and Light. Great read in the rotation is in the bottom lane. There's a bit of skirmish. Edward jumping with Vengeance again. Crab going for the slices. Now with a stun as well.
Oh, he gets stunned. Edward's gone, and now they're going to be going for more as Light falls. They're still going.
Now it's Demon Kai pocketing the Poisons. Yue going for the Brilliance now, but Sky's going to be on him right now with the Feather Airstrike as well. Purified again, a bit more movement speed. Sky's going to go down a Demon Kite.
Wow, it is a bloodbath. All before they could even go for the turtle. They go and get a couple kills on both sides, 3 for 3, and a little bit of extra gold over to SRG off that turret. Man, this is what we've been seeing today, Mirko. I mean, just a whole lot of fighting even before an objective is taken.
We have leveled up in the M-Series game, and again, this is what having a Swiss stage and then a double elimination gets you in a tournament. There's so much time for these teams to understand the meta, and even if they don't, they can go through that grueling 0-2 bracket, 1-2 bracket, so many more best of threes you can play to understand the meta. And honestly, that's how we get to see the best MLBB possible.
For this first turtle, I'm not sure if they're going to be fight for it. Whoa, we got to go back here.
Yeah, the way the dragon there was used up. Now good stun from Edward. Final snatch as well. The turtle was already taken out. Edward jumping with Vengeance again as a Valkyrie Descent will deal a lot of damage with Crab as well now. Tsunami Slam coming down. Sky taken low. He gets the kill.
Yue's gone. Seki's is next. Sakai's goes down. And they disengage. So it's a trade. The 1-for-1 actually here. Turtle secured though for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Man, these fights for the turtles, breaking out, the adjustment of the meta so far that we've seen, I mean, it's all kind of brawly, but still, you're talking about a Baksha versus a Leomord at that. But then you also have a counter over in the gold lane, right? Innocent later on should be able to go ahead and help beat out Domenkite unless he scales up enough. Okay, a little BMI.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort though now. Phantom Seed, Cram gonna be walking up as well. Edward, able to space away. Can he get away? Sky's just going for it, and Cram, popping a recalls as well.
Cram's like, you see that? I hope you could see that, Edward. Edward not having the best time on this R-Lot right now.
You want to get Edward angry though.
Hey, right now, they might be angry in the mid lane. That's a Tsunami Slam bringing down Yums.
Good stuff from both these teams. Selangor Red Giants really punishing the small mistakes that Aurora Gaming Philippines were making. Again, Edward walking up too aggressive with no vision on the map, and it's the same for Selangor Red Giants, for Aurora Gaming Philippines, I mean. Punishing them on the top side river, noticing that there were members rotating into the bottom lane. It really comes down to where you find advantages on the map and how to utilize it in every single situation.
Yeah. Again, with this kind of build-up already in the early game, you've got some of those first items locked in, of course. A little bit of different path here for our mid laners. Yue going with that glowing wand. He's going to need that to help with some of this sustainability that comes out from this lineup from SRG, but also the lightning tranche there for Stormy. Stormy has been on fire for the most part in the game. So the kick.
Reggie Kundo on the way to Dragon again. On top of that, Cram actually stole the XP grab. So a little bit more damage on top of the physical one. It's mental damage now. It's gonna be like walking up now with the help of Innocent as well with the Valkyrie set. Now Tsunami Slam to bring him under turret.
Oh, in trouble. Hume's trying to get away, disengage, but he falls to Yue. But Turtle secured by Sakai's. So all part of the plan, at least to get the objective. So they traded out. Man, I'll say this. It's okay if Humes goes down and trying to set up a play. Edward, on the other hand, he has been having a hard time. So I think the question is it, do you want to get Edward mad? I think at this point he's mad, man. Like, you know, but what we have seen with Arlots when they are picked, wow, look at the damage, by the way, from Stormy on this Farsa. Back to the Arlot is the final slash Yue. Oh, wait, he's got brilliance.
Go for the stun. Flicker as well, Purify out. The slashes come down under tier 2. But was it worth it for the shutdown, though?
I mean, is Cram just trying to make a point or what?
That has to be it, right? I mean, you kind of want to just assert your dominance, but I feel like Aurora are the type of team to be like, sure, you can have the dominance, bro. We'll take the shutdown. It's all G.
I mean, I don't. He's 4-1-2 now. Unnecessary death just to assert the dominance or not. You know, might get checked here.
Yeah, Tsunami Slam, instant Purify coming down now as Yums is able to go for the way the dragon over on Demon Kite. Pops into Poison's in time, but look at the damage coming through over on Demon Kite still. It's Edward trying to save him. Demon Kite caught in the bad spot. Oh, blazing away from Doming!
Oh, and they're still going Cramp trying to run it this time after losing 2 members in the fight. Aurora Gaming Philippines. Hey, you know what? Forget Edward being mad. The whole team's mad.
Oh my goodness. Stun coming down. Cancels out Light's jump. Now has to go back into that wave, but the turret in the mid lane falls, and Aurora finally get a lead in the game, like an actual 1K lead now.
Actual lead. Doming Kite as well, by the way, has just been able to go ahead and farm up the way that he wants to. On this Claude, we're already starting to see that damage come through. Turret's gonna fall mid and top. So now you've got the space to work with if you're Aurora Gaming Philippines to go ahead and lead into this next objective. Turtle comes up, last one of the game, and they'll get in position. Once again, Yums has continuously done this, setting up with the Cho, but this time it might be a little bit tougher. Domang rotating down too. He's gonna go ahead and clear out these minions in the mid. But look at the light, trying to set things up potentially here before this turtle even breaks out.
They really want to shut down Innocent, dude, and they've done a good job at that. In this game so far, Edward can be caught for the airstrike coming down as well. Edward, oh! Pops into Vengeance right as the Winter Dragon came through, so it got cancelled. Now Edward in the back line, finds the final stock one again. It's Innocent who goes in, blazing duet coming in from Doming. Innocent barely spacing out to position. It's Grab going through, CC immune. He's caught, gets the stun on 3. Skies walks up, not enough damage.
Oh, Doming Kite chasing down Sakai's, he can't escape the guns. And now another to fall as Stormy goes down on top of it.
The instant burst goes to Selangor Red Giants, but the long team fights go to Aurora Gaming Philippines. Doming Kite again. The guy who we've been talking about, I think, for the most part, right?
Yep.
When can he step up? He's stepping up now, finally.
Hey, that's what you do here. Now he's going to get another turret. He's got the Trinity locked in under the 10-minute mark, too. Taking a look at the replay here. Again, this fight was started up.
Beautiful.
And you'll notice Innocent jumping in too. Cram goes in, doing what he does best on this Lapu Lapu, but the fight gets separated here.
And it's all about the little things in the fight because, again, they were able to bait so much time, bait so many resources because of Edward. Yes, he's 0-4-4, but that Vengeance to cancel away the Dragon, him just staying alive for a bit more, really baited out more resources than Selangor Red Giants were comfortable to actually use in that team fight.
On top of that, a little bit more damage here for UA, picking up the Divine Glaive, and that's crazy that Edward's able to do that, man. Even after going down multiple times. He's got an Oracles, he's got the Fury Hammer like you mentioned, some tough boots, and then he's got the Ice Shield pretty much, right? Like, and that's just how the Arlot works, especially with the Brave Smite emblem and that Festival of Blood. So it's a little finicky to try to kind of kill him. Oh no.
Stormy pops into Purify, but Demon Kite goes for the chase. That's a stun out. Poison's coming down as Stormy will be taken down under turret. Cram and Sky is going at it, but it's only onto the box as Yums will lose his life. That's a stun onto Demon Kite, but he's still alive. Now Light coming in with a healing. Tsunami Slam! Doming!
Oh, and again, they're trying to get away. Cram under the turret. Demon Kite chasing down. There's the follow through as they pick up 4 kills for Aurora Gaming.
Aurora Gaming Philippines are striving in the chaos. You wouldn't expect to hear that before you watch today's match.
Ooh, that's the adaptations that we have seen throughout the Swiss stage until now. they're playing a different game, and it's funny because it's a utility jungler, right? Oh, okay. Well, Lord secured. Selangor Red Giants are going to have to wait on this defense. They do have decent clear, but man, I feel like this Freya pick for Innocent just hasn't been able to do much in this game. A lot of times when he pops the Valkyrie form and he goes and jumps in, he's pretty much just taken care of really quickly here. Because of the front line position from Aurora Gaming Philippines, even the ability to go ahead and bait out some things with the brilliance from Yue, it's just a whole lot to deal with. And again, if you're afraid and you're jumping into the fray of things, Edward is there, man. He'll final slash you for the team. A Lord's going to go ahead and charge in the mid. Holy defenses are still up here as they pop in the mid lane. Are Aurora going to choose to force a fight?
But the airstrike there. It's a tsunami slam to catch Hume. He's going to be caught. Vengeance already down. Demon Kite was able to take him down there. The Lord will be cleared out. Innocent can't go for the Valkyrie descent anymore. You already used it to clear up the wave, and Aurora want to go for round 2 into the mid lane base turret. They go. Yue already on it, trying to siege it down, and they will crack the base turret open. Domang doing so much damage. Has to respect Stormy, though. He's been caught by a few of those skill ones. Man.
Yeah, that's still impressive, though. First Lord, already a base turret down. Sometimes we see teams just with the First Lord, they'll get the holy defenses down, if that. But one base turret down for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Take a look at the items here, too. You can see the gap between the gold lanes specifically, man. 3,000 gold for Domang Kite right now. He's got the Wind of Nature, too, building into the next. And also, on the other side, you've got Demon Kite with quite a bit of a lead.
And like, this is the thing, right? You pick up the Freya to counter the Claude. The fact that the Claude is 3,000 gold ahead. Oh man, it's going to be really tough. Innocent might have to use a Purify here at the start of the fight. Valkyrie to send backward, Purify out of Tsunami Slam. Yums going to the back line, but Domang again able to go for the Wind of Dragon from Yums.
And they're still breaking out Yue, trying to get away. He pops the Brilliance, and Stormy on the wings will engage.
Ram going down to Edward. Now it's just Stormy. He has a Purify. That's a shield unity into the Purify out. Edward won't go in. They'll hold the lines for now, but there's 18 seconds on Yums, and Aurora are knocking on the base turret up top.
They're still going to go. Edward, final slash of the minions to help clear them out, but they might just have enough time to take out a base turret. And off of that initiation, now 2 base turrets down for SRG, with the Lord coming up in 30 seconds. Aurora Gaming Philippines has essentially controlled the course of this game already up to this point. And for SRG, are they going to choose to actually contest against this Lord? They've got firepower, man. I mean, especially like we've seen with a Farsa in their hands, but it just seems like all the options that they had in the early portion of the game have kind of run out here.
That fight earlier was a bit too close for comfort, I feel, right? Obviously, Aurora Gaming were still able to get the win, but the fact that it looked really good at the start, and then Yums all of a sudden was able to get away to Dragon onto Domang, putting him in a tougher spot and actually shutting him down. That means Selangor Red Giants, they have ways and avenues to actually still outplay a Wind of Nature, Purify up Claude.
I'm just wondering, man, at what point are you able to turn the tide completely here if you're SRG? You know, Malefic Roar now picked up for Innocent. Sometimes it might just be able to get enough damage off, you know, on with utilizing this Freya pick. Lord's going to be started up. Look at the positioning from Aurora Gaming Philippines as they go ahead and spot things out. Light has the flicker available. If he chooses to set things up, that can work. But this is also something you always have to worry about with a Claude against you, is if there's an off-lane push. A quarter of the health here on the Lord.
Valkyrie descent coming in. Now it's going to be Light. Still able to dash away. Sky's going to go for the Retribution now, but it's actually going to go on Edward instead as Demon Kite wins out the Retri battle. Yums able to flicker around the safety and out for the airstrike!
Yums! Oh, and Innocent jumps in. It's a shutdown on Yue. Sakai's able to find Demon Kite's in trouble.
The minions are at the base. Edward going to go into the bottom lane. He's going to try to barge in through as the minion is still there, but the turret is still alive, so Edward won't risk it. They'll instead back away. At the end of the day, it's 3 for 2, but Aurora won out the Lord. Innocent able to pick up a tier 2 in the bottom lane as Edward's too afraid to go 1v1 against the Beast.
Mirko, I asked, when is Innocent's Freya going to be able to pop off, find the right targets, and with that play around the Lord, yeah, sure, they lost it, but like you mentioned, they're showcasing that they can team fight against Aurora Gaming Philippines, and now they're going to go ahead and finally get some of these turrets down. They'll take down the tier 1. Up top is nearly down as well, and that's what SRG needs, man. They need some space to work with here in this game. And I'll tell you what, it just seemed like everything had to fall into place for them in utilizing this composition. You see it here. I mean, their fighting capability is really good, especially around objectives, right? You've already got, like I said, Stormy's already pretty much damaged. He's where he needs to be in big damn department, dude. He's got Holy Crystal, Divine Blade, Lightning Truncheon, and working on the next tier. Same thing with the Freya, and now to the point where you have some defensiveness for Yumes, where he doesn't get blown up on a kick. Oh, Demon Kite jumping in.
Great Shun Pu to cancel the shield unity, and now they're all in with Cram jumping with Raven Spider. But look at the Tsunami Stop catching these guys in the back, but he's able to dish out a bit more damage in the end.
Oh, they're going to chase down in the jungle. Does Demon Kite decide to go? They're going to re-engage.
Cram able to flicker out. Innocent jumping away, able to get the knockup down. Stormy goes in with the Blazing Dew and a double for Yue. Now it's Yume's caught in the bad spot. Yue actually dies. Aurora are also low. Cram and Stormy able to clear out the waves.
They can clear out the waves. I mean, even with... Oh, Cramp jumping in. Final Slash going to be used. Edward just keeping things here. This is too risky, man. They're so low health for Light and Demon Kite. What do they want to do here? They're going to heal back up with a Surge of Life. They're going to try to push it in.
I think that was a mistake. Now Cram doesn't have the Brave Spider. He's trying to hold out the waves. Tsunami's time to take him away from the waves. That's a Final Slash to cancel the defender. Airstrike. Stormy is trying to defend, but it won't happen. There's too many waves in the base. Aurora Gaming Philippines takes game number 1.
What a game 1 to start us off in this best of 5. It was a bloodbath. Just how it should be to get to the spot of the grand finals here. But man, oh man, Aurora Gaming Philippines and SRG put on a showcase. Just when you thought that Aurora Gaming Philippines was going to take that game completely in their control, Selangor Red Giants showed what is possible, what they've done many times before, man. I mean, if you guys watch the Swiss stages or any of these games from SRG in the past, you have seen what they're capable of doing, but this time, Aurora Gaming Philippines made it work in game 1.
It was the constant build for Aurora. Again, despite SRG's big win, they couldn't get the Lord, and therefore, they didn't have the waves to really capitalize on that win. On top of the fact that Aurora could be like, all right, we can reset, we still have more of the structural advantage to utilize. Those base turrets ended up being massive because look at how many minions just kept pouring into SRG's base.
Just an amazing game here to start out the series. Almost could have been anybody's game, really, but man, we're gonna have to let the panelists break this one down because game 1 was intense. Let's see what they have to say about game 1.
Oh no, TP pa! It is probably what Edward was thinking there in the end. Reminded of the little duels that he had with Crab all throughout. I will admit for a second there, I forgot that I was on the English broadcast. There's 2 Filipinos close to this setup here.
You're sandwiched.
Yeah, I'm sandwiched. Oh, what a victory by Aurora, but damn, what we expected, the aggression of SRG really tested Aurora early on, but they had the right heroes to deal with it.
I think better than that. I will admit there were some things that I did get wrong. I unfortunately, it wasn't 13 minutes. It was a little bit longer than that. And more importantly, the heroes that they were targeting, the roles that they were targeting, not exactly what I thought it was going to be as well, right? Because this time, SRG starts attacking on the opposite side of the map, and it's clear that Aurora was making sure that Innocent couldn't play the game, on top of bleeding that lead even further by neutralizing Yumes in the mid-game. And I think that was a very good decision coming in from Light.
I hate the dogpile on the already precarious situation SRG is in, but you're right. Where they decided to attack and the pitfalls that I wish they would dodge in the draft, they kind of walked into. Number 1 is they decided to play on the utility spectrum. You know what I mean? They let through the Baxia, but they banned the Fredrin. They played the Leomord, and again, between a Leomord and a Baxia, like who's really going to do good when it comes to trench fighting and major objectives? It's the latter, and not just good in taking objectives, but also getting a lot of kills. I can't believe Demon Kite was close to getting double digits in that game. Second is, you mentioned Edward.
Yep.
And we're looking at Cram as an anchor for the game. I think it took so quick for him to forget that he needs to hold down the lane and to do more than just win duels and these little ganks. And again, even when they were losing, he kept on picking fights.
Yeah, we could call back to the mid lane where Cram, yes, he went after Yue and it tempered the farm a little bit, but eventually Yue got to quickly get kills and eventually caught up. But Cram ended up giving up Shutdown, which gave Aurora just a little bit more gold to catch up to SRG. Just a little bit. It wasn't a major swing, but at this point, with the caliber of these two teams, every little detail matters.
Yeah, no, I think people can debate about it, right? I personally think that actually it was cash money, right? Giving over a shutdown over to UA, sure, it's probably not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, what did he get rid of it? What did he get rid of? Number one, he got rid of both alts. Number two, he also got rid of the Purify, which could have potentially set up for a later play for Yumes. We got to be thinking long-term here, because even when we look at the draft, right, the Arlet felt very independent, and it felt like Coach Dexter and Master of the Basics looked at him and was like, I'm sorry, you got to take your licks.
Yeah.
And after he took those licks, neutralizing the Freya became so much easier when you have a Boxer on your side who not only mitigates her damage, but at the same time reduces her most important ability, which is to sustain through it with her auto attacks. Not to mention, Arlet, consistent CCs. I'm not going to let you auto attack for free.
Yeah, I'm going to even swipe you away when you get in range, and I think that's one of the keys here. You stop the half-man, half-beast from just becoming a beast. He's just, what's up, man?
Yeah. I mean, we were looking for a little bit more crowd control from Edwards Arlott, and yeah, eventually down the line, it was utilized really well. But with Light and Yue together with the Kalea and the Lunox, I think that is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of these trades happen in the early game. We talk about the healing provided by Kalea and, of course, the self-sustained healing of the Lunox. When it came to the big fights, I think Yue saving the Brilliance, saving the first ability to be able to heal himself, and then maximizing every Darkening so that Chaos Assaults are extra hard for the counter punch. That's why for majority of the early game, it was like 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and Yue was standing, or if he goes down, he takes a bunch of bodies with him.
And that should be the game plan every single time. Because again, it's a very precarious situation when you're trying to play at the edge of the Feathered Airstrike while still mitigating the overall damage. I think that Yue played one hell of a game here, and not to mention, Light as well. Great peeler and great eye. Really small details he was picking up. Oh, you shouldn't put a little too early. Tsunami Slam instantly.
But at the end of the day, it's still Doming Kite as our MVP. There's two kinds of MVPs, ladies and gentlemen. Setup and payoff. Doming Kite was the ultimate payoff MVP. He literally picked up everything that everyone set up for. We already mentioned Demon Kite, Yue, Edward, Light, and what, 7-8 minutes? Like, before the last turtle, he was already coming in with lethal blazing duets.
Yeah. I mean, this is what the condition we laid down for Aurora. As long as you can keep it close so that Domikite has space to farm, that's your dream scenario. And that's exactly what happened. With all the trades that they kept forcing, that they were somehow able to get wins. Once that first big blazing duet came in, it became like a harsh wake-up call for SRG of, wait, we did not disrupt this Claude enough. Where's this damage coming from? This early to mid-late game is gone for us. We now have to just keep duking out and try to hope that we win team fights.
Well, but that's the thing, right? As much as Doming was able to get a free lane, he was playing a strong laning phase. He was making mega impact in the backline, making sure that Stormy is always feathered airstriking at the maximum possible distance. All of this was enabled by Demon Kite. Where's he going? Looking to initiate, not only to get on top of this Farsa, but poses the question to specifically Sakai's. Hey, I will pose the question. If you do not initiate, we will get an answer very quickly.
And the initiation from SRG is, how do I say, fragile at best. If you don't get a perfect kick from Yumes, they have to find another way to get at you. They have to find another way to find an initiative and to go into proactive position. And their only secondary way to do that is, I'd argue, with Cram. But Cram is too busy going into the back line, hunting down softies.
And that's why this entire game boils down to, hey, the question is, who needs to initiate? It's never going to be Aurora in these cases. It's always going to be SRG because of their draft.
Yeah, and Light eventually read that so well. As much as you'd want to be the one setting the tempo with the Kalea, Tsunami Slam after Tsunami Slam, the surprise initiations with the Tidal Strike, a lot of value from the ultimate of the Kalea in this game came from the fact that if someone decided to reach the back line of Aurora, whether it be Cram, whether it be Yumes, you've just wasted your dash trying to entry while I Tsunami Slam you and you have no way out.
And that's why in that moment, about 2 or 3 frames back, in the Lord Dance, Light was so willing to just show himself. It's because he knows that it's never on me. I just have to wait for y'all to make the mistake of crossing this threshold. Amazing understanding of macro dynamics and the team fighting just back and forth, the give and take. I don't know if these stats are true, but ladies and gentlemen, the matchup between Lunox and Farsa in mid is still, I don't want to even say heavily, it's literally Lunox favored, 0-7.
It hasn't been going too well for Farsa in these types of matches. Again, both scale really, really well. Both have two separate ranges, but one has iframes and can also become a machine gun when the other is just artillery. At the end of the day, SRG is looking to try and go for the takedowns, right? Aim for the knees. Aurora just got to judo that weight over to flip them on their back.
Really like sports.
I love it.
Well, I couldn't think of a sports analogy. I'm gonna get you guys
That
later.
was too quick.
Yeah, that was a bit too quick. I was thinking of like, okay, what am I gonna dish out for the next analysis? Sports references. All right, let me write this. Nope, I was way too invested into the analytical point, and now I've completely lost it.
No, I think that's exactly what happened to SRG, is they were too committed to team fighting, because that's, again, at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
Sure, Malaysian MLBB has been influenced by heavy macro, but y'all still like to fight.
We like to fight. We're the in-betweeners between the two, well, I mean, the two big regions of Indonesia who love fighting.
They love fighting.
And PH who likes to take it cool, calm, collected, but there is purpose. Finding a good balance in between the two is why I thought initially maybe SRG was posed very well for the meta, but it seems that Aurora, they've broken the ceiling.
Yeah, the difficult thing also with how Aurora decided to draft this, and the lineup that SRG eventually fielded, I didn't have problems with it. It's just that it seems like Aurora was able to prepare the right heroes to deal with the main thing, which is the burst of the Farsa. Farsa tries to burst someone, but you have so many heroes that can survive burst. Yue, even if he gets bursted down, can still get so much value by using Brilliance out and still being able to Chaos Assault. Light will be able to provide the heals. It seems like the only ideal target is if they could completely burst Dominkai down and then majority of the Aurora damage is gone. But then they still have a Lunox to play through.
And that's the thing, they cannot burst Dominkai down. He's so slippery. He has a Purify, he has BMI, and I don't know what the last words were before their coaches left them after the draft, but I'm pretty sure it's, you guys know that we're playing for the counterattack. And that's the play style, that's the principle throughout this whole 16-minute game. I was watching the fight, 10 seconds in, I'm looking at SRG, yo, why is no one dying, right? With all the damage, why is no one dying? And I look at Dominkai, he still has Blazing the Wet. That's how well Aurora understood the dynamic here, and I think SRG should do well to reset going into